Welcome once again, friends, to the Scarlette and Jade Show. It's Sunday, March the 28th, 2021. And this week we'll be discussing vetting processes, their importance for both DOMs and subs, and how to find the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or so on. We'll add some real life situations, homework, and ways to find mistress, master right, or subby right, or right now, depending on the case. So you can do better in life and in the lifestyle. What are you doing, child?
You said subby right, so I was illustrating.
Calm down. You'll get your chance. So you can do better in life and in the lifestyle. As you can see, today's show is going to be a little comic. And today we'll have some more direction from Hans, our German pet.
Oh, yay, good.
Apparently, I've decided to let him out of his cage. He was very naughty last night, and apparently he got his way out again. Jade, I'd like you to do our opening disclaimer for our lovely viewers, please. Take it away.
Yes, madame, all too happy to. Thank you. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. As always, a disclaimer. Legal ethics are so fun, at least to me. Now then, on a serious note, the following program is for ages 18 and over. The information contained in the following video and subsequent videos is intended for informational use only. While medical advice is presented in some of these features, it is not intended to be used as such. And it is not to be used in lieu of your personal physician or therapist. This goes for all individual viewers. Please consult your personal physician and or therapist before engaging in or taking part in any actions that may be presented herein. The following information is for, as stated, educational purposes only, and not intended for use without proper training and, in many cases, supervision. Please practice any and all of the following techniques safely and with principles of RAC and SSC in mind. Those are risk-aware consensual kink and safe, sane, and consensual kink or play. Further, the Scarlette and Jade Show and its members, crew, cast, and direction is not liable for any mishaps or accidents, medical or otherwise, that may occur as a result of the following examples or descriptions illustrated or presented in this program or following episodes. Please seek medical professional help if you are in distress and call your local emergency services if needed. Viewer discretion is, as always, strongly advised.
Oh, and so we are going to begin with vetting is another big question many have had in the community, and Mistress thought this would be a good time to talk to you all about it. She is some playtime planned for today. Oh, but it is not that kind of playtime. Oh, but it's starting to spielen.
Hans, I heard that. What did I say about speaking only English for our guests?
Oh, sorry, Mistress.
Oh.
Oops. I must remember to behave. She gets so cranky and I rarely get to play as she is so busy. So the fun things ahead, talking about the vetting process and some scenarios to watch. Enjoy the show, yeah. And I know I'll be paying for this later.
Oh, you better believe you will be. Oh, why do we put up with him again? I'm just trying to think about this.
Because he's fun.
Yeah, I guess so. As long as nobody sees him, we're fine. I mean, no one can explain that. Anyway, so one of the most important things many people don't consider or get tripped up on, and I see this all the time in groups, in discussions, I've seen it in lifestyle, out in life, and in person, of course, is getting and trying to find a partner in the kink community, and that's vetting. Vetting is essential, and people have difficult understandings of how to vet. So we're going to try to break it down a little bit easier for you. And of course, we're going to leave it up to you in the questions if you have any later on to ask us in case you have any other alternative questions we may not have covered in the show. So Collins Dictionary describes the act of vetting as the act of making a prior examination and critical appraisal of a person, document, scheme, etc. Now, we enter into this process in many ways without realizing it, such as like choosing a bank, credit cards, cars, a residence, relationships, and even friends. Vetting is not a new process or way of thinking, but especially in this community, it's a vastly important part of finding someone that you will trust with your life. And people don't consider that. You are really trusting somebody with your life. It's the same as getting into a car with somebody who's driving and you're not in control. In this situation, you're giving your control to somebody else. So you are putting your life in someone else's hands.
Think of how cool it could be if you could vet your Uber driver.
That would be a wish I think everybody would have.
Mhm.
So finding that person you can trust with your life, or they'll be part of your household for hopefully a long time. This, of course, will cover a small bit of session vetting as well, which is a smaller portion. But for the most part, we're covering lifestyle vetting. Think of this as a long interview process that delves into very specific, delicate, and personal details that you may not share with most. That this person will be your vault of secrets, and trust as well as privacy is of utmost importance. So what the hell do I do to vet someone online or in person? Well, this is always fun because people do like to play at being something they're not. So this is a great process to cut through the BS quite quickly with the right series of questions and with you expressing your needs and concerns. Your needs and questions will be personal to you. So I'm going to give you broad ideas, and, concepts and stuff like that, but you're going to have to figure out what you need most and what you want to question most when you're vetting people, because everybody has different wants, needs, desires, and thoughts that they want to cover, obviously, before talking to another person. But I can tell you now, it's best if you write down your wish list. Honestly, write down what you really want. Do like, like when you do the to-do lists or your do's and don'ts. Well, write down your list of wants and definitely don't wants.
Dear Santa.
Pretty much. And be realistic about it, because if you add too many specialized things, you might miss some wonderful gems out there that can personally shape to your own design. Some people don't come with a lot of experience, but they may be completely open and wonderfully adept at becoming something that you really appreciate and enjoy. And giving too much of a specialized wish list on, I want this, I need this, or else, and you're gonna just completely blow away some really good people that may otherwise be fantastic. I don't know what you're waving at, you little naughty thing. You will end up in the GIMP box too if you don't watch it. All right, so before I give up my list of things, and well, we're going to get into some utterly silly mayhem and the gift of acting for you lovely guests to see the do's and do nots of vetting.
And the Academy Award goes to?
I'm going to ask our very own Amy Jade as a sub what she looks for in a dominant and a DNS partnership. Amy Jade, please tell us what are the most important features, skills, and needs you have wanted in this type of situation.
Well, I could go a lovey-dovey and dreamy on my list of wants and desires in a dom. In fact, welcome to Amy's BuildAThom. We can start with trustworthiness. That's number one. If there can't be trust, there can't be anything else. That's just bad for every relationship under the sun. But in BDSM, it's absolutely imperative in what we do and who we trust our bodies and minds to. I've got to say, everyone harps on looks. Like in every relationship, there's like looks here, looks there, like how she looks, how he looks. But looks are honestly the last thing I look for personally in a dom. They're important, sure, but in the grand scheme of things, there's just so much more to focus on in such an in-depth community and lifestyle. Again, given what we do, it's really not that imperative. I mean, there's a difference between the dom look and how a dom acts and portrays and carries herself, or himself, whatever. Looks tend to take a backseat most of the time. I don't like arrogance or entitlement in doms, not any more than they appreciate in the subs. If Damian McDomerson tries to say, well, I've done this, this, and this, I'm not impressed. As Shania Twain saying, that don't impress me much. If anything, I'm turned off and more inclined to just roll my eyes and walk away. I'm a sub, yes, but I'm not stupid, nor am I a pushover. Flakiness is another aspect I despise. I mean, honestly, either be committed or don't. I mean, part of being a dom is being able to confidently and assertively make decisions, at least most of the time. If you can't do that, especially when it comes to a sub, then don't bother. Of course, this goes for other subs or doms, but in my case, I notice it much more in dom types. And again, gender doesn't seem to matter either, again, due to my perspective. Often when even talking casually to a dom, such as at a club, where it's more of a relaxed and informal setting most of the time. I play down my intellect in order to subtly deconstruct and analyze the dom in front of me. It's my way of kind of playing a game without them knowing. It's a game of mental chess to see if they're worthy of my submission. because I like being strategically and tactically minded. And rarely do they ever make a positive impression. For example, of all the above, and a given archetype would be in Findoms, which I know Madame so adores.
Mm.
I also refuse to entrust my body and mind to a Dom who is interested in treating me only as a toy or an object. Outside of scenes. I may be a sub in a little, but I'm also a strong-willed, passionate, intelligent, ambitious, and driven woman who needs to be valued and respected. If I'm not, then there can be no relationship, to say nothing of DS. There can, therefore, in essence, be nothing worth submitting to. And that's part of what I enjoy, the hunt. I know. A lot of people are going to ask, you like being hunted? Well, yes and no. I like the game, the back and forth, gauging and measuring.
Apparently,
Whether or not whether or not the Dom has what it takes to subdue me and earn my submission is what it's all about. I find it strategically and mentally exhilarating. It's part of what drives my interest in the lifestyle. And hey, it worked. I found one.
Apparently, you did not build a dom. I already came prepared. Thank you very much.
It saved me some work.
A lot of work, apparently. Demanding little whelp. Okay, so we're going to run through 3 scenarios, each of the good, the bad, and the ugly of vetting from both sides. So there'll be a lot of silly from both of us, but you'll see a tiny sliver of the nonsense. Actually, see a lot of the sliver of nonsense. Actually, forget it. It's a giant cake of nonsense that we've both dealt with in terms of vetting over our respective times in the community. Since I'm feeling kind, we'll start with the submissives process.
Oh, me again. So just as a pertinent example, this actually happened at a club I used to frequent during my time in grad school. I used to go to this club like every couple weeks, so I was a regular there for about 3 to 3.5 years.
Oh, you're talking about that club, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun club. The girl was fun.
Tell Hans to shush.
Hans, Madame say shush.
Yeah, I did.
This particular night was one of my favorites, full of powerful, strong women. I don't mean physically. They didn't have to be physically strong. That's a misconception. They don't have to be strong to break you. Madame knows. But that didn't mean male doms, and especially pretenders, weren't there. God knows there were plenty of in attendance. Anyone could get in if they were a member and paid dues. So there's this alleged dom, and I use quotations because to me, he isn't worth the effort of addressing him with any form of respect. He spots me in the crowd, and I have this low-cut black dress on, which I still have downstairs in my dresser. It's really nice. And then about 4 inches above my knees, had black stiletto boots, kitten ears like these, and a collar, and just general collar. I wasn't owning or anything. And I'm sipping on one of my favorite cocktails, Blood of the Innocent. It's great if you've never tried it. It really knocks you on your ass if you're not prepared for the bite. Anyway, he comes up to me and starts in with, "You look way too relaxed here. You should get on your knees in front of your superiors." Cue me with a look of utter disbelief and contempt. I believe I said something to the effect of, "Excuse you? Who the hell do you think you are?" Yeah, the alcohol is fueling my courage and anger. Besides which, the floor was filthy. Not that that had anything to do with it, really, but I mean, it did factor into my mind. People were walking, dancing, and more all over it. And more to the point, I remember thinking, this absurd entitled idiot thinks he can just command my submission. Boy, please. Wearing heels bigger than whatever's in your pants. But I had the club on my side, which helped. He just kept going on. "You need to be put in your place, kitten. You got an attitude problem that needs adjusting." Okay, at this point, I started seeing red. No one calls me kitten unless you are my dom. Same with terms like little girl, little one, baby girl, and so on. Those are great if you're my dom. That just makes you melt. If you're not, you started in on me with that shit, and they're like triggers. I wasn't going to get violent. That's not my type. I'm not the type of person. But I was going to make a scene. Fortunately, before that could happen, one of the older doms, one of the elites of the club, I think she was like one of the shareholders or something like that, she came up, and by her presence alone, this guy was terrified, and really so. Really didn't mess with her. I don't remember much about her at this point. It's been a couple of years, but I remember her presence, her aura more than anything, her outfit especially. That was killer to die for. Blood red and black latex, black stiletto boots. She was sexy, sure, but she was powerful, and that's what really inspired and conveyed the most. Power. Is there a problem here, Jade? Remember her asking as she walked up and put an arm around me protectively, a glass of wine in the other hand. See, even actual doms who weren't my dom addressed me by my name unless in a scene or something. And even then, community standards are a serious issue on all sides. She was very casual, but proper at the same time. And the guy just starts in with, "This little brat wanted to disrespect me." The guy pointed his finger at me accusingly and practically spat. The mistress just smiled, and I swear if she were a vampire, this is where the fangs would have come out. First of all, she's not a brat, she's our brat. Secondly, it looks like you needed to be disrespected at this point. Her power was just so intense. She had him turned into a blithering mess of an idiot in moments. "I'm her dom," he had protested, and she just laughed. It was hilarious. Well, I mean, now it's hilarious, but at the time, I was just in awe. I remember she did laugh. I mean, she's like, "Her dom? Well, I know you're lying, because she doesn't submit to men." She then gently shoved me off and told me to get another drink. And at that point, I kind of just was disengaged from the situation, totally disengaged. I just walked off the other end of the bar, like 120 some odd feet down, and just disappeared in the crowd. I wasn't allowed to ask what happened to him, though. It was the last time I ever saw the guy. I figured he was shown the door and his membership torn up. I do remember he was taken to I was taken in the back throne room. It wasn't actually a throne room. It was just what they called the throne room. And I was allowed to sit with the mistresses. It was fun. There was a couple masters there who were in attendance that night, and they were allowed to be there. But I mean, it was just for that night, but it was nice and a welcome privilege. And I knew it was a privilege because I mean, no one's allowed back there. I mean, unless they're especially admitted. And now I look back on it, it was also for protection more than anything else. I cheated a bit in this case for the scenario because I had backup, but I assure you, I easily could have destroyed him if I were alone. And again, I don't mean physical violence. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I mean, I could have reduced him to a messy pile of tears, sweat, and insecurity. Few things can bring me more joy, especially Schadenfreude, situationally speaking, especially when I've had a couple of drinks in my system.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with backup, especially in cases like this. And any good dungeon, club, or playroom has a few active DMs, and which I've played that role many times, on site to ensure the security and safety of members, as situations like yours can happen more often than should when vetting isn't done. In the case of clubs and some dungeons, more latitude is given because you don't, the owners aren't always sure. And well, people do lie, as we both know. And I'm glad they had your back. I mean,
people lie? Really?
Oh yeah, I know. What a shock. But I mean, in situations like that, it could be new people coming in, testing the waters and stuff like that. But they get this horrible misconception that they can just walk on in and say, you are a sub. You're going to be my submissive now. And we're going to get into that in just a few. And this is not how it works. Believe me, I've had to stop many of those myself.
Well, no, it doesn't work more like 50 Shades.
Okay. Okay, I'm glad they had your back. You shouldn't be allowed to talk anymore, apparently now. There are too many who believe dominance is trying to make anyone do what they want to at any given time, do what they want. And that's not how it goes. And no one should be subjected to that. And now yours was a good mix of, bad and good. So we can kind of cut to other ones. Now, since my little whelp likes to try to take over so often, I'm pretty sure implementing a gag in her mouth made with rubber and a gobstopper as the centerpiece, maybe topped with hot sauce, might be a good plan. That'll keep her busy and quiet for a while. So if anybody in the audience has any good ideas for excellent punishments that maybe I should subject my brat to, that maybe I have never thought of, which I doubt, but we never know. Leave your ideas in the comment section below. I have too many scenarios for all of the above, so I'll go with good ones for now. Now, I'm a lifestyle dom, as most of you figured out, and I currently have a stable of very few wonderful submissives, in which Jade is the primary. And yes, I have a couple of littles, I have some sissies, and I have some other wonderful submissives that are absolutely fantastic, and I'm very lucky. And I keep getting more, constantly trying to get my attention, and I can only handle so many things with a full-time job and this and a million other things. As Jade can attest to, I'm usually a very exceptionally busy individual with not enough time to manage in a day. I don't even know how 24 hours can never be enough, frankly, but I manage.
Wait, you're busy? I had no idea.
Okay, you need to stop talking now. Where was that gobstopper?
I am still looking for it, mistress. I'm sorry.
Well, don't eat it. Oh God.
You let
Why?
him out of his cage again.
This is my mistake every time. All right. So I am a lifestyle dom. Now I was very active in paying sessions with people who would come from all over the world to see me. I still do those sessions from time to time as it permits and the right people approach me. Now, see, and there's the thing, I've never once approached someone to be my submissive, ever. They will come to me. They usually approach me. So I don't have to sit there and annoy people and bug people. I never would. I don't understand the concept of that, but I know a lot of other people want to, and I get that. So that's not to say that mine is the right way, but it's the one that works for me. Now, I have a lot of regular pets that would come to sessions. They were all very special to me, and each one had to go through an interview process. For paying sessions, the vetting wasn't as long as lifestyle pets, but I would still run through the needs, wants, experience, outcomes, health issues, and signed waivers and contracts. Security and safety are two of the most important things I've always held to with my subs, and some of the session ones had greater need for that. I had one particular sub that had been long in love with the lifestyle, had collected items that were dear to him and spoke to him of the lifestyle. He was a sissy that loved impact play and had a high tolerance for pain. So as a dominant individual in his day-to-day life, he felt the need for release, the giving over of the reins to someone he could trust and just be. Now, this is common, by the way. Almost all of my subs, past and present, are fairly dominant and strong in their regular lives, so high-stress jobs and more. We would meet for lunches, enjoy conversation, and there were times where he tried to assert himself in that scenario, and well, one look from me and would usually settle that impulse rather quickly. But the best thing about him is that he was able to be pliable in my hands and completely submit. They had no question after I spent an appropriate amount of time talking to him, getting to know him in and out of the lifestyle, ensuring that his needs were met. Yes, I know some of you are shocked that the needs as a dominant, it's not all about you. And you need to manage yourself and the sub. And you do need to ensure their needs are being met as well as yours are being met. And this is how a healthy dynamic works. I'll say one thing. During one session, we simultaneously hit sub and dom space, and it was one of the most beautiful moments. And now he has a permanent reminder of that time. So the final scenario, a little role play. And this is the fugly, folks, and we're going to be a little silly, but I think more than a few of you will roll your eyes and see that you've probably gone through this before. The pushy sub or dom, usually new or fakes, looking for a hookup or a sucker. Whatever you do, the following is never suggested. Don't do it. Just don't. Not ever. So, annoying sub first.
Ma'am, madame, mistress,
What?
will you be my dom?
We need to talk first.
Mistress, let me, look, I got this to show you. Let me tell you what I want you to do.
No.
But ma'am.
No.
Mistress, madame, you're dominate me. Do this for me. Come on, dominate me. Please. I want it so bad. Please.
No, you realize I would have walked away by this point or hit block way before this ever got to this point. However, this serves to show you how annoying this is, and it happens a lot. Now, the flip side.
Hello, madame. I was hoping you would.
You? How dare you contact me like this? How dare you speak to me without honoring me first?
I was just hoping to get some info.
Did I ask you to contact me? No, I asked the questions here.
Well, ma'am, respectfully, I was hoping to ask questions first so I could see if we're compatible.
Who cares what you think? You're just a sub. You're a nothing. You do as I say.
Well, no, ma'am, I was looking for a good dom to help me.
Oh, I am a good dom. I've been doing this for a whole year and I got into it because I needed some kind of income and I read a fictional book. So I know what I'm doing. So you have to beg me to become my sub.
No, I won't be doing that.
You're a sub, yes.
Yeah, to the right person.
Well, then pay me and show me that you honor me. My Venmo is,
No, bye.
or my absolute favorite, advertisement of a great big beautiful play space that some of us have actually seen before or know the advertisements for, that they're popular, with two girls who are playing dress up, or a single girl playing dress up, or stats and such to that way of thinking, that they are photoshopped over it and telling pay pigs to get in their DMs and subs only. Don't do that. Jesus, have some respect, if not for yourself, for others. That's disgusting. Stop that. This
But
is not how
you
we do
love
things.
findoms.
Hmm?
You love findoms.
Ugh.
Mistress, if I may.
Yes.
All the ones who get a hold of you through Twitter and say, follow me. I'm looking for the sissies to follow me. I've
Hmm.
gotten about, like I say, 5 of those.
Ugh, they can go away and you tell them to piss off because I said so. All right, we don't have much time left. So vetting, real vetting is not a short, simple process. Yes, you might feel a connection and attraction with someone immediately, and that's great, as it should be part of it. However, there's more involved in it to make it work. Can you see yourself trusting this person with your life? Can you see them having your best interests in heart? Do you want to see them grow and thrive? Can you see yourself being around this person in and out of the community? Do you respect the person? Do you see any red flags? And those are only a few questions. The vetting should include medical history, knowledge of medication or issues that might pop up during play, potential triggers and boundaries, any previous play experience, good and bad. Treat the first instance like an interview and get to know them with well thought out and necessary questions that you personally feel are very important to cover. Things that you might want to know and feel make a difference to you and your potential when entering this DNS situation. Having a well drawn up contract and a waiver that they go over properly so that they know what they're getting into and actually discuss it with them in detail is essential. Getting to know each other in a different setting, not just the dungeon playroom, go out for a meal or a coffee and see how the dynamic is in person, in public. So this way you can see how it feels in different spaces. Most of all, get to actually know the person beyond just the play aspect, if they're really somebody you want to spend time with. Even with my session clients, they trusted me so much that we discussed more than just play, and often ended up friends as well as play partners. Did I ever defer to them or anyone else? Well, no. However, in a different dynamic, we would have open discourse and created a better bond by experiencing each other in different settings. Ultimately, you'll decide what works for best you in vetting, but a few minutes or a couple of days generally will not give you an honest time frame to determine whether or not this is a good fit. Session clients are, of course, a faster process than lifestyle, but you still need to vet, ensure safety of yourself and them. Always let someone know what you're doing, where you are, and a safe word and time frame for protection. Do the same steps above with health issues, boundaries, and paperwork. And as always, with all things, consent is key. Never go further without consent, and respect those boundaries that they're put up by both sides, both the dominant and the submissive, because they will have their boundaries. Play should be something you enjoy, savor, want, and remember fondly, and should want to come back to again. Communication and connection are key, and you will find the right balance that works for you. So I hope we've covered some relevant tips for you today. And if you have any questions, please ask. If you like our show, hit subscribe, like down below, and share, and let more people know we exist. And thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you again soon. Say bye, Hans.
Oh, goodbye. Oh, shit. I have to go back in the cage.